Hello everyone. Welcome back to Little History, and welcome back to a brand new playthrough. I'm so excited, y'all. This is... this game has been on the list to play since the channel started. So it's like, this game is real good, and it's finally time to get to it. So, to everyone, Terralingua, JCDC, Enclave Microstate, Liz, Ailey, Billy, Steph, thank you all for being here. Welcome. And to Terralingua and Billy Warren, thank you for the subscriptions for a lot of months, right? 18 months of Tier 1 for Billy Warren and 5 months for Terralingua. That's a lot of months. Like, glad you are here. Thank you for continuing to support the channel. So, right, this game, some content warnings. Gore and nudity. Those are the big two. It's not like, weirdly horny kinds of nudity. This is full-on Catholic guild kinds of nudity. Just, mostly some late-game bosses, so we probably won't see anything too horrifying or too content warning in the first couple streams, but obviously blood. This game is very bloody. This game is very intentionally bloody. And so obviously take care of yourselves. That being said, this game it was released in 2019 by the Spanish studio The Game Kitchen, and is just utterly drenched in Spanish Catholicism. Like, look, there is Catholic guilt, and then there is Spanish Catholic guilt. And we are thoroughly in the second category, so, it's going to be super good. Some people on the internet, including our very own Reed, will say that this is one of the best religious games of all time, and certainly one of the ones that understands the aesthetics of, like, Spanish Christianity just phenomenally well. So you're going to be seeing a whole lot in there. We're going to try and dive into some of it as we're doing this, but obviously the warning here is that that's not really my specialization, right? While I am a trained historian, and a trained historian of the Middle Ages at that, this is delving into an aspect of history that I am less familiar with, so we're going to be trying to do some research together as we have questions. And also, this is a Christian game with no crosses in it, which is itself an interesting thing that we're going to want to pay attention to. So, without further ado, let's get started. So welcome everyone to Ludo History. As always, I am Adam, your friendly neighborhood historian. Today we're playing Blasphemous, a 2019 Metroidvania that is inspired heavily by regional Spanish religion and Spanish Catholicism. So it is super duper beautiful and super duper bloody. If you enjoy this though, of course, consider following the channel to be notified for the wide array of historical content we do. We'll be starting up continuing one playthrough and then starting up another playthrough later this week of Sable and Assassin's Creed Black Flag, respectively. So, we cover a wide array of time periods and ideas and historical-ish content. If you want to help support the channel further, though, either consider subscribing here on Twitch or heading over to patreon.com/LudoHistory, where for as little as $2 per month, you can help make sure this channel keeps going and that we're able to keep doing more games, better research, more guests, all of that fun stuff. So, without further ado, let's hop into Blasphemous. Did I mention this game's pretty, y'all? Did I mention that this game is absolutely beautiful? Because it is. It is not the sun rising, but our sins. Anonymous. It's pretending like it's a real... like it's a documentary, right? The classic historical game thing of starting with a random quote from someone.
I claim your grievous miracle. Make my chant regret. Fought your punishment and left me deep. Shame my guilt once again.
Yup. Jumping straight into the gore. We are not going to jump out of the gore.
Guilt, repentance, mourning, and every pain of the soul of all kind were visibly and tangibly manifested everywhere and in all of us. Sometimes in the form of blessing and grace, sometime in the form of punishment and corruption. That divine will, equally pious and cruel, which we could not and will never be able to unravel, was called the miracle.
Is this in a particular period? No, but there are a few pretty good options. Right, this is in a fantasy world. Let's start off that way. We are, while this is in a fantasy world, there's obviously a few things that suggest, slightly more specific history. Oh yes. Press left bumper to consume one of your biliary flasks and recover vitality. These consecrated flasks are refilled by kneeling at a pre-ADU. Find empty vessels to increase the amount you can carry. So yeah, we're in the Metroidvania. So insofar as there is a specific reference, specific period, we should be looking at a mix of medieval like 14th century Catholicism, and probably 16th and 17th century, more inquisitorial histories. But yes, only it looks like the helmet is based off of a traditional caparota. That is exactly correct. All but explicitly, this is our character, the penitent one, is wearing a caparota, a traditional style of hood that is used originally in medieval flagellant cults. So, for anyone who doesn't know, flagellant cults really kick off in the 14th century as a response, to a not insubstantial amount, on the Black Death. And they are basically, right, the idea is we are clearly sinners. And the response to sin is to, yeah, unfortunately in America it did kind of get yoinked. But yeah, right, the idea is that there's clearly such a grievous error wrong in the world that causes, you know, plague and illness and other such stuff, that we need the most public and most brutal reincarnate or reenactment of the March to Calvary to display repentance and to display penitence. So, flagellants would march through the city streets, right, march through the city streets in Spain, lashing themselves with short barbed whips while wearing these capirots, so pointy hats that are designed to direct the attention up, so they obscure the penitent's face, right? Because it's not one specific person who is engaging in penitence, right? These are not supposed to be identifiable people. These are people who have taken on the sin of the world and are beating the sin out of themselves with the direction turned upwards to God. And so you see a statue, a really clear instance of this. Obviously, with all these people having probably done ritual self-sacrifice to the point of very much death. And then a statue displaying something very similar. Yeah. How do you write flagellant in English? F-L-A-G-E-L-L-A-N-T. But yeah. Question about Catholic guilt, is this an intended feature of Catholicism, or just like something that happens if you aren't Catholic anymore? Oh, it's an intended feature of Catholicism. Let's be very clear, that is a core... Hang on. Ow. Dang it. It is a core point. So basically, right, I guess to answer that, you really have to get into the question of, like, what is sin in a Catholic context? And, sin in a Catholic context is a lot, right, because it's a thing, right, it's an issue of deeds done, basically. So, unlike in Protestantism, where sin is considered, you know, innate to the world, but the solution to sin is faith. Right? The solution to sin is faith at all costs. And so the only way to earn redemption is through the, like, faith without deeds attached. Catholicism is like, no. The solution to, right, the solution to sin, of the fundamental state of humanity, is penance. The constant performing of penance for transgressions, right? So, right, so, like, the traditional chant is, right, Agnus Dei, right, the Agnus Dei translates to, like, Lamb of God, you take away the sins of the world, because the world is a sinful place. So the peccata mundi, right, this idea that the mortal world is inevitably sinful, with this concept of peccata, right, and the solution is penitence, forever. And you just have to always do that. Which is kind of where that all comes from, because if everything is sin, and you must constantly be performing penitence, well, obviously you should feel bad about everything.
Grateful be the heart, penitent.
Good to see you, Nacho Fortescue.
The anguish of the eldest brother has now come to an end. I am Deo Gracias, witness to and narrator of the acts of the grievous miracle, such as my penance, as yours silence.
Well, the thanks be to God, by the way, is his name. Just as a heads up, right, his name, there's a lot of Spanish and Latin in this game. Deo Gracias is thanks be to God. So, his penance is both anonymity and this act of recording. Agnus Dei qui tollis peccata mundi miserere nobis, grant us, or have mercy on us.
This can be found in the Mother of Mothers of the churches.
Also, by the way, right where we have this very elaborated, like, early modern face mask,
Separated from the rest of these lands by a great sacred and forbidden door. Even a wise penitent like me knows nothing of what lies beyond those high walls. However, what I do know is that, according to the rule,
The rule.
carry out the 3 humiliations to gain access to what they guard. One of them must be performed in the high mountains, covered in thick blankets of snow and ice. Another in the depths of a dark, entombed church where the sleeper lies. And the last one, at the end of the trail, carved by moans that claw their way out of an iron spiral, in the bowels of the bell named Honda that grows into the earth. Take this thorn and place it on the handle of your sword. If, when the time comes, as you grip your weapon firmly, you notice that it wounds you and makes you bleed. Having grown, with more thorns sprouting from it, writhing over the figure of the father carved into the knob, that will mean that you are at the mercy of the grievous.
Well, that's terrifying.
Whether for its punishment or its forgiveness.
I have acquired a thorn. So, where was I on this thought? Oh yeah. So our guy has a very like elaborated steel headdress, right? In addition to the the hood, right? In addition to our penitential hood and this elaborate face mask, right? This is something that looks very much more modern, right? Still old, but much more modern than it is medieval. What this guy's wearing here is 100% looking at like a medieval penitential figure. Right, because we saw in the cutscene that his mask, right, the thing that gives him anonymity, is this wicker, like, basically woven basket, right? It's a beekeeper. It's a medieval beekeeper mask that happens to be repurposed towards penitence. I also, by the way, love the scroll. I adore the kind of gold illumination along the text of the scroll here.
Even a wise, however, what I do know is
We also get a rule. Now, in a Christian context, right, rules aren't, like... It's not quite the same thing as what we think of as just, like, laws or whatever. Right? I guess there's kind of two main ways you could think about it. Right? You could think of rule as being a bad translation of law, in which case we'd be looking more like Judaic law. And some similar prospects in early church fathers. But more accurately, I think we're looking at a sort of alteration or a development from a monastic rule. So obviously Benedictine being the most familiar and most, I guess, current. Oh yeah, press right bumper to parry. Maneuver allows you to counter weak attacks and deflect heavy strikes. During a counter, press the X button at the moment of impact to perform a retribution. Like that. Good times on T2, Sheepsterina. God, it's so good. Oh yeah, you just kind of walk at me, don't you? Rude. It's so good. Are they fighting us with wagon wheels? Yes, they are. Rule of St. Benedict has also workarounds where you can eat? Yeah. It is very odd. But, right, that shouldn't really be a surprise, right? In the 14th century, right, as flagellant cults start to become more popular, what you see a lot... Okay. Ooh. We'll read this in a moment. But what you see a whole lot is the idea of this proliferation of reinterpretations, arguments, and disagreements in monastic communities that ended up bleeding into populist movements. So the oh heck, Fra somebody in Italy in the 13th century. But regardless, in a Spanish context, right, it still is coming out of monastic context originally, and then becomes a very populist movement, and flagellants are kind of a populist Christian reform movement in this moment of social crisis. Naturally, more Orthodox church officials get really spooked by flagellants. I guess that's something that actually bears mentioning, right? Flagellation is not ever really considered proper Christianity in its heyday. It is a thing that church officials really want to crack down on, and they never quite succeed. Song that filled the air during the festivities of a lost village. Power finds its way through the floor, continues through the walls and ceilings, harming the enemies of the Penitent One. The ringing of a laced shell horn used to precede this chant, but now only silence remains. Lore. Whether in rain, sun, or wind, may this land blessed be. Whether walking or in deep sleep, may this land blessed be. Whether by day or in obscurity, may this land blessed be. Well then, if you didn't sacrifice, as you said earlier, why isn't that considered suicide? Because this isn't Christianity. Obviously, even though it's very unsubtle about being basically Christianity, it's not Christianity. Oops, that was the wrong button. There we go. Press right trigger and X in the air to ascend after hitting an enemy. You can do this up to twice. Whoops. That was just incorrect. I need to remember that that keeps making me drop. Get over here. Well, that sort of worked. Children of Moonlight. You'll find them caged all over Custodia. You can release them with any technique at your disposal. Yay, we got a grub. Ow. And now we get here. Yeah. Enemies using a breaking wheel against you is dark? Yeah.
The miracle has forsaken us, and my all-night throne turns its
Oh no. We have been abandoned by the miracle. Alberto. Press start to open up your map, or press select to open up your map. Hey look, it's a map. Anyway, isn't this game pretty? Why do all these people feel the need to self-flagellate? I don't get it. Anyway, I know that Jesus died because you're a horrible sinner and you must always be repenting or else. But yeah, the problem is, right, Peter, the problem is not that they are repenting, right? Penitence good. Penitence penitence in ways not dictated by canon law and by extremely sophisticated penitence tables. That's an issue. See, it's gotta be a problem. Because if you do not have, are not engaging in penitence in ways assigned by a prelate, and assigned, you know, to make sense from the, like, sins you have done, well, there's a problem. Because you gotta not do that, because that's bad. Why would you consider doing that? To my knowledge, the most you get to Christianity to literally offering your life is the concept of martyrdom. Yeah. Right, being killed for the sake of belief, excellent. Killing yourself for the sake of belief, terrible. Anyway,
Sorrowful be the heart, penitent one. Welcome to Albero, sanctuary to this humble brotherhood of the kissers of wounds.
yeah. One thing you like about this thing is how many of the people being supernaturally tortured or mutated into monsters aren't there by divine punishment, or even a monkey plow's wish, but just literally getting exactly what their faith led them to want. Yeah, because suddenly prayers worked too well.
Few remain here who can still employ it. But Tirso is my name. There are few of us who still care for the sick and ailing.
Yep.
With devout kisses, we bless the wounds of those who seek our protection. Thus both we and they remain at the mercy
God, it's so good.
of the miracle.
God, it's so good. The idea of, you know, doing things that are objectively stupidly unsanitary. Such as, you know, the act of kissing people afflicted with disease. In this case, I think most accurately, afflicted with leprosy. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Right, that is coming straight out of the New Testament and remains a big thing throughout medieval Christianity, with both monastic and non-monastic religious orders engaging in medicine, which includes washing the wounds, which involves giving succor to, like, very material succor to the wounded, but also these religiously motivated acts, such as kissing people who are kissing open wounds, and kissing sores, and kissing people who are affected with stuff, in terms of, like, as a way of blessing it and as a way of offering penitence and succor and invocation of divine blessing, especially for saints, right? Because saints do it, it works, because kissing as a mode of caritas, that's a concept that needs understanding. I'll explain that in a moment.
Passes by strangely. In sundowns we need not contemplate. But if your penance happens to carry you under set skies, be so kind as to bring us some ingredients for our ointments. The will and the miracle shall show you which ones they are.
So, caritas. In France, the king was believed to have the power to heal people by kissing their head, and such was sometimes the representative of God on earth. Yeah, same in England, same in at some times in the Holy Roman Empire. Lord. That morning, when the bonfires were lit and the convicts were raising their ghastly pleas to the indifferent inquisitors, a white dove came down from heaven and perched on the shoulder of a prisoner, where it stayed until it burned with him. Oh yeah, by the way, did we mention, you know, burnings? I can't reach that yet. I can try, but I won't succeed. The medieval... Oh, jeez. No, that's not a good interpretation, Liz. I'm with you. That's not a good. But yeah. Right, for these people, the core thing that's going on appears to be a concept known as caritas. Oh, did I just walk into another cutscene? Dang it. Hi, cutscene.
Penitent one, you who carry the painful guilt in your cracked hands. Lend it to us and alleviate our burden. Lend it to us and wipe away our tears. Because it is an act of penitence.
God. The virtue of mea culpa hath ascended. Visit mea culpa shrines to increase the power of your sword. You also spend Tears of Atonement to unlock combat techniques. Visit additional shrines and increase the mea culpa's strength to access more powerful techniques. Curious to see if this game touches on the Christian mystic tradition specifically? Yeah. It won't immediately, but I expect it will at some point. So, where were I? I believe, oh yeah, I was going to talk about the idea of caritas, right? The idea that we are performing these both because they are acts of penitence, but also...
Thou hast called upon the witch of the Order of the True Shrine.
The Order of the True Shrine,
In this place, we gather the remains of those who were separated and forgotten. So we can grant them holy burial as our charitable rule prescribed. Help us, these poor souls, O penitent one in silence. The Order blesses you.
Cool, thank you. It's not here and open yet. Anyway, we've got so much to talk about in this area, holy moly. To finish up the idea of caritas, right, caritas usually gets translated as charity or love, into English. And that's good, right, that's correct. But really, it's a bit more than that. Right, that this is a sort of love, not in any romantic or even platonic sense, but love as in, like, almost sibling-like. A care for the world and everything within it, that prescribes a certain ethics of duty that is extremely excellent. Like, extremely important and extremely valuable. And so, right, these performing good deeds for other people is virtuous because you'll be rewarded in heaven, but also because it is an expression of the virtue of charity. Right, it is one of the 7 virtues, and so you should behave in such ways because living a virtuous life grants you reward, etc. Right, and it is... Exactly. Good deeds to the point of being self-sacrificing. So it's not just, you know, giving the tithe. It's going far beyond that. It's, like, real important. And the idea of the kiss, right? Oh, this mark. People kissing the wounds, washing the feet, washing the wounds of the ailing is one such very potent expression of caritas. It's, like, it's real good understanding of the how you perform virtue in medieval Christianity to have this order. And then anyway, here's this church. I mean, name a more Spanish Baroque building Like, find me a more Spanish Baroque building than this right here. You won't. This is the same style of church that shows up all over New Spain. Right, Spanish colonies in the Americas. So this is the classic mission church, but its style originates in Andalusia and really all across Spain in the early 16th century with the advent of like very early Spanish Baroque styles. It's so good. Phalanx of Brannan the Gravedigger. Just a collectible. Brannan Joshua Mullins dug the graves of hundreds throughout his life, whether friend, family, or foe. When the chaos arose, there was no one left to return the favor. Ooh, that's his finger, isn't there? We're collecting relics. Right, a phalanx, a pharyngeal bone. So, yeah, bones of relevant and hopefully good people. The only guess to have autonomy, so why J.R.R. Tolkien's world building also features the idea that a Saiyan figure, Melkor, fled and became Morgoth because he tried to create something original new, and that's considered evil. Yes. Ow. I forgot to hit the button. Well, that's not at all spooky. Yeah, Tolkien is like spooky, very spooky amounts of Catholic. Like, very spooky. God, this game is just so... so good. Like, look at this aesthetics. I don't care what Vatican II said, I will not stop responding them. It's true. Anyway, get over here. I mean, look at how they're doing all of this. I'm gonna use a second one of those real quick, because I don't trust this. Ow. I have encountered a uvula of proclamation. When the uvula is equipped, you have a chance of earning Tears of Atonement when destroying an object. Decree from His Holiness Escrivar. It shall be called the Anointed Legion, said His Holiness. Under their armor, their bodies shall be covered with bandages, anointed with oils that I myself will bless. They will protect the Mother of Mothers, as I will protect them. Alright, have a good night, JCDC. But man... Oop. And are these monsters, or am I just mauling actual people? I am mauling actual people. So... in the lore of the game, the most relevant thing is the Grievous Miracle, which basically gave everyone what they were asking for. The Capitate of Baroque the Herald. When their executions were lashing, Baroque was always there to proclaim them loudly, but his voice broke down gradually, as day by day he had to announce the sentences of his entire family. Welp. I do not believe I have a way. I can get it from the other side. Boop. Oh, it looks like those are cherubim and seraphim. Ow. Jerk. Right. I need to check on that, but it looks like or next time I see one of them, I need to actually look. But to me it looks like they are pretty heavily based on cherubim and seraphim, being two of the orders of... two of the orders of angels. I mean, that is the level of oomph that this has going to it. Yeah, I need to... right, the ones... obviously the babies in cages look like cherub. I just need to check on... primarily on the... winged ones, to see what those wings are and have. Come on, stop. Alright, this is a great time to take on the difficult one. Yep. Ow. Exemplares excommunicaciones. And then we respawn. Turns out, jumping into spikes bad? I know, truly a staggering turn of events. Luckily, the consequence of that is primarily in progress, not in lost good stuff. Yeah, okay, let's look at this guy. Let's get up here. And let's look at this one. They have 4 wings, not 6, it looks like. That is about the extent of the difference. So not technically a seraph, because seraph quite famously have 6 wings. Oh, come on. I disagree. Oh yeah, let's look at this now. Look at those. Yep. Chad is adding some helpful add-ons, which is that specifically, right, the infant angel is a category of cherub known as the puto in Italian, right? A trend that shows up in Italian art in the Renaissance of portraying cherubim as babies. Blasphemous is such a wholesome game. Isn't it really? That's such an animated game. Like, holy moly, the animation. Oh, I could have done an execution. I need to remember that next time. When I stun someone, when I land a stun, I can execute them. Smear some blood on ourselves and call it a day. Let's go down this time. Because that's right, this game has executions and they are brutal. Ooh, look at that. Look at that Gothic. Hello.
As I foretold you, someone is heading towards the Forbidden Gate. Someone who seeks the purge and excommunication of all that is sacred and rests there.
No, we
No. Do not place your doubts on
we would never do something like that.
I am ready.
I would never seek the excommunication of everything in here. What? No. We're going for any specific ending? I have not ever beaten this game, so I don't actually know. We're going to see what we get. No. I have no guilt to cleanse. God, what a strong aesthetic. Okay, maybe I have some guilt to cleanse. Is that recurring a like symbol a game original? I believe so. I'm not super sure, but I believe it is. As black as the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela? Yup. Ah, yes. Time puzzles. Wow. Jerk. Time puzzles. Oh yeah, and explicitly flagellants. Oh, I could have just dodged the whole thing by being smart. Okay. That's okay. Hooray. And now we go down. Hooray! Ow. 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 And we're just gonna do some grave robbing. Thank you. And then we're gonna be good. God, the catacombs are so good. I know it's about unhealthy, self-destruct attitudes common to Catholicism in an extreme, but I can't deny that the visual design is extremely aesthetic. True. I also cannot deny that. Ah, damn. I'm super not gonna make it. Oh hey, you want that flagellant who's actually, like, flagellating themselves? There they are. Gonna aggro on me? No? Fine, I'm gonna aggro on you then. Senor. Senor. I have like 1 health. God, I desperately need a spot to heal up, or at least get my shortcuts up. Ugh. Thank you. A small bead of red wax. So, what do we have? Tiny pebble of melted wax, the muted crimson, prayers muttered in its presence slightly strengthen the vitality of the wearer. The lore. The abbey ceased to be a quiet place. Cries of pain coming from every cell pierced the walls. The old friar knew he would be next, so he got up from his cot where he had been huddled and glanced at the few items that lay on his table. Most of them mementos from his life before joining the order. He wanted to be kissed by the miracle while immersed in those gentle thoughts. Triggering most memories were some small balls of wax, now covered in dust, that he used to enlarge by picking up wax from the candles during processions. And we also got something else. Oh yeah, by the way, Dale Gracias from Farewell. Brother Abbot, you know that I've been a scribe in this abbey since I was but a wee child. I have written about our church, our saints, and our miracle of the greatest pain. I must inform you that I have made the decision to leave, although I intend to continue writing. In these walls, I cannot be a true witness to the works of the miracle. I need to appreciate with my own eyes your holy works. I will be a teller of the miracle wherever it takes me. Rain, or shine, or scorching sand under my bare feet. We also got a new thing. A Seguiria to your eyes like stars. There is a small girl with 2 star-like eyes, who when she looks at me, makes me stay by her side. They say she's a saint come down from the sky. Do not cry, my child, or I'll get lost on the way. What is it that tolls? The bells in the distance? What is it that cries? On her face. Eyes star-like. Yeah! It is extremely good, right? The idea that there is a penitent, that part of this penitential order is this sort of very explicit How to say this? Ooh, another relic. The very specific competition of orders, right? The idea that these orders are not all just one thing, but like there is not a monolith here, but there's a ton of different orders who have responded to. Among those who have remained sentient and functional at all, there is disparity in different ways of interacting with the miracle, and different ways of professing that devoutness. And that's super cool. Anyway, Zecher, the brewmaster, gave ignoble fame to his monastery by brewing the most famous beer in the kingdom. One night, the flames of a fire raised his legend to the heavens. Tragic. He simply is too good. His beer was simply too good. It cannot survive. Ah. Well, I didn't die. I'm just not doing well. Hello? Hello? Hello, tiny old woman.
Let us be captives of the miracle, penitent.
Exactly.
Do not be surprised to find this merchant here. This ancient occupation requires me to be wherever I can obtain rewarding benefits. Call me Candelaria. For what I sell would make your price like
Good name.
I will not ask you for any money whatsoever. Those forbidden tears you shed would be more than enough for me.
Okay.
Go ahead. Cast your darkened eyes over these valuable treasures.
Okay.
What I am offering you here is as lustrous as the first star of the night. And may my eyes be blinded if I'm lying.
Fantastic. I cannot afford this.
What I am offering may my...
I could afford to do that, but...
What I present to you, though a small piece, its great power should not be underestimated, trust me. For I have the blood of kings on the palm of my hand.
A forbidden key that was guarded by the eldest brother of the Brotherhood was eventually lost, thus forever sealing the chamber it opened. Yep. Thank you. I can't afford anything else. Goodbye. God. Here's a fun thing. Right. Let's actually hop back in. Having ducked out of here, let's hop right back in here. So, the fun thing is, right, fun here is in somewhat sarcasm. Right, in this sacred context, who's allowed to do merchants? Right, who is allowed to be a merchant? Even though there should be people selling lots and lots of stuff in lots and lots of ways, I think it's not an accident that the person who is allowed to be a merchant is heavily coded as, let's see, nomadic, wears some kind of scarf, which is unusual, though not unheard of in this for these people, deals primarily in trinkets and baubles, makes excessive profusions about their trustworthiness, and has a tent of brightly colored fabric. Spanish Roma. Almost certainly Spanish Roma. Ah. It's stereotypes. Right? It's not quite a... Oh yeah, when the penitent one dies, erring in his penance, a guilt fragment is anchored in the world. The weight of the guilt accumulates and reduces the gain of fervor and tears of atonement, as well as the maximum fervor. Collect guilt fragments to recover, or find someone who can ease your burden. So there we go. We have now lost a couple of things. But right, it's certainly stereotypes. That's not quite the same as, sorry, words. I got distracted. That's not quite the same thing as racism, right? Let's not get that wrong. Because, you know, it is a cultural fact that the Roma were often merchants, right? Due in part to the perpetual thing in medieval Catholicism, or medieval Christianity, that there was a proper behavior for Christians, which specifically included the do not lend money. Right, that's bad, but enabled minorities or non-Christian populations to do that, and then that will get extended due to social pressures and other stuff the same way. Can you elaborate on that, Jakista? I'm actually not familiar with that singer. Lola Flores? Are you saying that the merchant is inspired by her? God, there's so many places to go. Oh, singer and actress from the 50s who is, in fact, Roma. Gotcha. Oh, hey, it's a guild fragment. I.e., where we died last time. Ow. Bridge of the Three Calvaries. Well, gee. Gee, I wonder if there's any reference, thought, or relationship to Christianity with a game that specifically references Calvary. Well, hello.
Here lies the door, on whose bronze the ordeals of those chosen by the miracle are perpetuated. On it, for the art of these images to be worshipped and revered, ornamentation must take place. This sculpted holiness watches us, rigid, from on high. But it is the relief of the bronze that dictates who is worthy of passing under its adorned arch. Find the holy visages, and the bronze will know.
Okay.
For fickle are the wishes of the miracle.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Deus Gracias. God, I mean, look at how good the background is. Look at that, look at the quality of that parallax. It's just so good. It's so good. Anyway. We have been going for a bit over an hour, and we do try and take ad breaks approximately every hour. So I will leave you with these tunes for a couple of minutes as we take our first ad break for the day. I'm going to take this time to go get some water, and I recommend you do the same. Just say a couple of exactly matters just so you already understand. For the sin of mocking granted religious hats, you must do 3 Hail Marys and a Pater Noster, and then you'll be good. So yeah, we're going to take an ad break though. I'll be back in 3 minutes, and we'll be continuing with Blasphemous. Alright, and welcome back everyone. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Ludo History. As always, I'm Adam, and we are starting up a brand new series, which is a playthrough of Blasphemous. It's a 2019 Metroidvania that is not very subtly based on Spanish Catholic culture and belief. There's no crosses, but there's just about everything else you could imagine to identify it as Catholic, and it is phenomenal. So, we're tootling our way through that, trying to talk a little bit about some of the ideas behind it, and just generally having a good time. So, if you are enjoying this and have not done so yet, make sure you hit that follow button to be notified for all historical content we do. And if you want to support the channel further, make sure you hit that subscribe button, or head over to patreon.com/ludohistory, where for as little as $2 a month, you'll be able to support the channel and what we do to bring history and media criticism together in a hopefully entertaining way. So yeah, let's hop into this. So, correction on your part, the merchant wasn't directly inspired by Lola Flores, but a lot of her dialogue references her music. Makes sense. Rolled. God, this game... This game is just full of the good stuff. Is it Spanish specifically, or is it just Hispanic in general? It is Spanish specifically. Ow. As much as I would love in Our Lady of Guadalupe, I don't think we're going to get one. If you do spot one, and I am actually wrong on this though, well, definitely let me know. Because I make no pretense to knowing everything there is to know. But yeah, the developers are Spanish, and they have been very open about using their regional, I guess, culture, but been very open about the fact that it's based on, like, their homeland, and sort of their history, and hey, no shade on that. That's a good thing. Ah. Look at it. We have acquired Heart of the Virtuous Pain. Equip the Sword Heart in Mea Culpa to alter its properties. They grant powerful upgrades, but this comes at a price. Rest at a Prie-Dieu to access the sword's core and insert a different heart. Just, let's look at that. Sword Core blessed with defensive prayers. Can be inserted into Mea Culpa, boosts the blocking status, increases duration, but exposes the penitent one longer to enemy attacks. The works and graces of the sorrowful miracle. Second verse. The wind blew strongly through the fractures of the cathedral that the great tree had originated, lifting the ash, creating dense grey clouds, hiding the whole mother church and drowning her in a deep darkness of lead. The ground began to tremble. Then a terrible cry was heard from the depths of the mountain of ash, and that cry was joined by more and more. Guttural screams, animal roars, monsters, and one which was heard above all, the scream of an old man, which resonated gravely as out of the throat of a giant. And just look at this, like, whole reliquary space. Like, fantastic stuff right here. Look at that. We got that intense tracery, high gothic reliquary, and then the carved wooden statue, which the red and blue, and the ponytail immediately makes me think that this is supposed to be, the Virgin Mary, or certainly inspired by. And then, the stigmata visible in her breast. Right. And sort of the portrayal of the crucifixion as injury not only on Christ, but on Christ's mother. And this sort of oval-shaped spear wound in the breast, which itself then has an additional layer of reference in that it engages... Oh, that doesn't screen transition, that just kills me. Oh, that's awkward. F, yup. Has an additional layer of reference in that the stigmata in medieval Christianity are compared to a Roman description in Pliny's Natural History of the pelican feeding its young via the feeding its young by piercing its breast being compared to the stigmata and the wound in Christ's side. But you'll notice that breast and side aren't quite the same thing. And so there ends up being some pretty neat, I guess not confusions, but interplays between various various aspects of injury and bodily organ that create very fun things. And yes, makes you think of the imagery of Christ's side stigmata as a womb, which is, by the way, not subtle imagery in case if anyone's curious. Just in case if anyone's curious, there's nothing at all subtle about that comparison point. Like, the claim that it is like fundamentally female sex organ, yeah, that's just all over the place. It's so not subtle, and I love it dearly. Male saints breastfeeding their followers is also a whole thing. Yup. There's just a lot. As it turns out, there's actually so much relevant iconography here. Okay, please grab. Hello? Thank you. There's so much relevant iconography in terms of transness and gender nonconformity in Catholicism. And yeah, we get just hints of that with sort of the... There's a lot of cases where there's just explicit, explicit nudity, sex imagery, and coding, but there's also plenty of, like, androgyny and sort of this conception of anonymity as enabling all that. That is, I think, worthwhile to acknowledge and often extremely interesting. Oh yeah, I should actually kill these guys, huh? There we go. Bridal mysticism. And was pointed out earlier, by the way, that a lot of the imagery here is from a Goya painting, The Procession of Flagellants, which is a very good shout, and also should probably not be considered much of a surprise. Right, like... There should be nothing surprising about the idea that a... Ah, heck. That a Goya painting is a strong influence on, everything. Ow. Stop Look, I'm not gonna stop you from engaging in self-flagellation, but, like, come on. Come on. Oh hey, another execution. Watch this. Is that unnecessary? Yes. Do I regret anything? No. They think I'm a banker and are following Jesus' example by hitting me with a whip. True. Oh hey, it's a secret. Well, we gotta check out what the secret is. The secret is a lot of enemies. Okay, but this is an entire other area, so... Secrets it is! No. Don't do that. Ow. Don't do that either. There's my other heal, so... Ow. Not great, but also acceptable. Acquired an empty bile vessel. Hooray! I believe that gives me another... capable of holding the hollow bile that emanates from the morning fountains. Interesting. Empty bile vessel. Get up and tell us what you witnessed, said the scribe without averting his gaze from the paper. I received an order for the exhumation of a penitent who had been buried about a year ago, answered the gravedigger. He was well loved in Alberto, and many parishioners approached his grave. When I dug him up, we saw blood coming from a crack in his sarcophagus, blood red as wine. Those who were there rushed to open the lid of the coffin and carried him on their shoulders, watching as blood oozed out from its side. Others ran to their houses, searching for buckets and bottles to keep all that blood that wouldn't stop flowing out. Yeah, that's a miracle, alright. That is what we call a certified Catholic miracle. Well, hello.
From a place of blessings have I been entrusted with watching over you, penitent one. Thus it has been arranged. My name is Viridiana. I have been granted a gift with which I can assist you in carrying your burden for the But only you can make that choice. Penitent one in silence, will you require my assistance with your next task? Here I shall remain, lest you change your mind.
What's that? Is it boss time? Ooh, is this a warp spot? I assume this is a warp spot. Don't know where it takes me to. I've required a bouquet of time. Bunch of aromatic herbs, common in the past amidst the cliffs of the bronze borders. Today, however, their scarcity makes them increasingly valuable, especially for those who discern their healing abilities. It wasn't long before more and more people came to us affected by that terrible and unknown suffering. Whole families, the young, the old, and even the newborn. We, brothers of the congregation, were unable to cope, and our care was not working, nor were our ointments, nor our constant prayers. We are lost, submerged in the darkness of uncertainty. That is what we call plague. That was a certified, here has some plague moment. I can't afford that one. I can't afford that one, though. So now we can dodge attack, which is fast. We also found some time. Senor. Oh, nope. Please. Please. Senor, some time for you.
Merciful be, Penitent One. With your contribution, the work of this brotherhood carries on.
I have acquired a linen cloth, which does something. A useless rag that seems to slightly vibrate at times, emitting an unintelligible buzz. The affliction sometimes leaves its mark on mundane-looking objects, unable to reveal the miracle under its mantle of corruption. Lore. Febrile as he was, he hardly knows that someone had sat down next to him. A gentle hand patted a white cloth on his forehead. It was a fabric of the utmost softness which allowed light through it as if it were a sheet of paper, and was soaking his feverish sweats and was providing such relief that he could not help but fall asleep. When the cloth was soaked, the nun got up and handed it to Mother Superior, adding, "With this, we will be able to have his confession." God, it's all so ominously Catholic. I love it.
In this place, countless these
I love how, like, ominously Catholic everything about this is. Alright, let's go back here. Mercy Dreams. And what's this? Suspiciously fancier door? Yup. Okay. Why did you do that? Ow. I'm gonna back up, please. Okay. That did a lot of damage, holy sh... I need to try and deflect that when I'm stuck here, or just jump over it. That works. One HP on the dream, let's go. Ah, we died. Are we fighting in a cathedral? Yes. Yes, we are. Admittedly, the cathedral's not in very good shape, but that's neither here nor there. I've got to not do that. I thought I had parried that on time. Well, you can see how well this is going. Hello, Perry? Hello, Perry? There we go. Mm-hmm. There we go. And we stand away from that, and then we do that. Then we'll run away. We'll slide away. Oh, that does 3 now. Alright. That's gonna do more. Ugh. I got myself stuck up. That's alright. Are people talking about the aesthetic? Oh, well, so Zoe, good to see you. I also need to remember to be using my fancy attack. Like, oh yeah, by the way, fun thing about Tempiedad here is how wildly Christological he is. Right, we can all see how, like, stupidly Christ-like he is, right? Ow. I don't like being here. There we go. I don't have any heals. I can take one more hit, though. So that's something. That's gonna be 5, which means I need to stand back here. Then we'll do that. I can just block that one. That's bad. Just block that one. Break that. Yes, good. That was what I was hoping it would do. Can just block that. Then 1, 2. We're about to focus mode real quick. Dang. Last thing. Can't be the only thing. This also looks like Jar Jar Binks as a demon, but also Jesus. Yeah. I see it. I totally see it. But yeah, if anyone who doesn't recognize the Christological imagery, it's most visible right now. This is the place where it is most clearly visible. Because this is... yeah, Madonna, the Madonna Pieta. The Madonna in mourning, here, with, the Virgin Mary holding the crucified Christ here, injured in her arms prior to burial. It's in, what artist did it? There's a really good one by Raphael. There's a really good, one by Raphael, but quite a few others. Michelangelo has a very famous one. And then we also get a fun thing, that I think typically gets undersold a bit, but, right, all this demonic imagery obviously is looking at, like, folkloric demon people. Ooh, I can just block that and be okay. That's nice to know. I still prefer dodging there, but... block that one. Dodge through there. We'll take this chance to break this. Didn't do great there, but that's fine. We're still in good shape. We're still in okay shape. This should still be the small one, so that's okay. Then we'll just run there. I really just can't dodge that. That's alright, we can heal this one. This is going to be the 2. Okay. Just keep running. This is extremely bad. And just keep running here. Can heal off of that. Dodge through there. That's 1, 2, 3. And now we do this. Ow. Oh yeah, should do that. Because I can be basically perfectly safe with all of this oomph. And dead. Is anyone gonna stuck that he appears to have a nail stuck in his navel? He's got nails stuck everywhere. Requiem Aeternam. Eternal Rest. Also known as the central line of the Requiem Mass. Right, Requiem Aeternam et dona nobis pacem. Right, give to us eternal rest and peace. And now we get a miraculous vision of a horrifying scorched wasteland. Which, to me, this is an interesting one, right? This is a case where more modern iconography is slipping in, because typically when we see this sort of ash-like wave structure, that should say...
the great ordeal and the sons of the miracle.
visage, custodian of one of the three sorrows of the soul in penance. Our miracle has chosen me amongst all the peers, just as it chose you.
Post-nuclear imagery, yeah, it is, Rat.
Sacred sea. May the gold in my visage melt and erase the attrition of your soul. Heart of guilt, return now from the dream.
It's melted gold. Come on. I know it looks like peanut butter, but it's melted gold. And we got the Holy Wound of Attrition, marked left by the golden visage that reveals the cleanliness of attrition in the soul of the penitent one. Santo Credo, verse 1. His Holiness, because of his high penance, must endure suffering in his soul in 3 ways. Each of the ways is a motive, and each motive is a sore. Hence, these 3 sores are the keys to his eternal pain, and must be guarded. But yeah, we beat one of our first bosses. Woohoo! Woohoo! For anyone who does not know, since I mentioned the Requiem Mass, it's the commemoration of the deceased. Oh damn! I didn't get to talk to Deo Gracia. Because I backed away. But yeah, the... where am I going? The... The... visage, or the sacred sea of the golden visage seems to be much more, you know, nuclear and nuclear adjacent than it is traditionally Christian. Ow, jerk. Thank you. Weird baby. Ow. That hurt! That hurt so much! Ow. Hey, you. Go away. I have it on good authority that this is more or less Catholic Guild the game. It super is. And I am, as a certified born and raised Protestant, I regret nothing. That's how that works, right? Right? So the golden head that appeared a minute ago was inspired by both golden skulls that appear in paintings by Billy. That looks like a Romanian name. And I'm not familiar with this artist. But you know what that means. We have the power. Also, we should also look at Goya Procession. If I could type, Goya Procession of the... Procession of the Holy Office? It is. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, those are pretty cool. I'm a big fan. There's the procession of the Holy Office. Sorry, I'm just pulling up some paintings. Because obviously this game is pixel art, but it's also very, very... Procession of Flagellants as well. Very, very influenced by Spanish art. And, you know... I think it bears loading them up proper like. So. Firstly, the golden head, according to Jakista, was inspired by golden skulls that appear in paintings by... He seems to mostly do sculpture work. But... Still, like... I see it. I vibe with it. Kinda sick looking. And then, the other one that there is a lot of influence of is paintings by Francisco de Goya. So this one here is the procession to San right, Peregrinación a la Fuente de San Isidro, so the pilgrimage to the shrine of Saint Isidore. And you can see the kind of horrible... The... very 18th century black and white Spanish thing. Actually, we saw this in the game, in one scene. There was a guy who had that little lacy white lace collar on an otherwise black outfit, which is very much like him right here. And then there's the procession of the Flagellants, also by Francisco de Goya. Ilucientes. Which, yeah. Yeah, I don't really think I need to even, point out specific parallels, because they're so obvious. Like, right? That's super obvious. Yeah. Go on, blow up. Ow. Did you know that it's hard to, Oh, stop it. Go away, go away. Go away. Another empty bile vessel. Hooray. Procession of the Flagellants, but 8-bit is just kind of this game's whole art direction. Yes, it is. Big fan. Ow. Go kaboom. Thank you. Ow. Yay. The spicy drip. There. Ow. God, I can't take any more hits right now. I just have no heals left. Okay, I can take one hit from them left. That's right, at least this is significant progress. I don't know where it's progress to, but we're gonna find out. It's gonna go somewhere. This isn't better. Hi, child.
Voices greet you, penitent one. My name is Nacimiento. Look at my chest, upon which an ancient visage grows older and older. A face that does not speak, that does not think, while mine becomes younger, such that I now look like a child. Such a terrible sentence is this, that I do not understand its purpose. No matter how much I reflect on the sin that I may have committed to deserve it.
Oh.
The grace of the miracle is present even in those who are punished. Perhaps I might reduce the magnitude of this sentence by helping you. Bring me the quicksilver, which is capable of flourishing under our feet in any place at the whim of the grievous one, and I will mix it with the bile from your flasks, thereby enhancing its gift.
I see.
Bring me the quick.
Yes. Understood. I would love a spot to heal. I would love a spot to heal. I'm just saying. Oh. The Khalsa name of Persian, the bandit. Feared by his countrymen, Persian attacked Greece without distinction between rich or poor, and always alone. The day he dragged himself to a barrow on the brink of death, no one took pity on him. Well, that did the trick.
This lowly servant greets you, O penitent one. Welcome to the ossuary of all those who will be eternally remembered. My duty is none other than to provide shelter to each and every one of these skeletal remains that linger under tangible veils of dust.
Yeah.
It matters little how many years or centuries have passed. The bones speak to us through grinding and grinding, and through their silence. But these remains need one another in order to reveal the truth they still guard within. Only together, in intimate brotherhood, will they achieve eternal rest. For this, they beg that you help them. Bring them before me, and in this way, we will uncover the truth that they have silenced.
So the
Foes, thank you for your help, O virtuous penitent one. Bring the bones before.
So as we accumulate bones, we will unlock stuff. Because the bones will live here, and they will be bones. But this specific idea here of the bones making up the walls of the church themselves, right? Because obviously there's the walls of the church, and then there's the catacomb, and then there's the ossuary, which is kind of like the catacomb, but not quite, because it's above ground. But they don't usually get arranged so artistically, we'll say. This is specifically referencing a real church, though. Which is very fun. It is referring Sedlet's ossuary. One very specific place. I don't think I want that. Actually, wait, that just makes it... nah. Oh. Hello. What? Hey, look at that abbey in the background.
This place is another dream, penitent one.
Okay.
They believe me a saint worthy of devotions, and the only thing I granted to their prayers was the saltpeter that runs through the stark land and rises through our bodies. The punishment of the miracle for the false idol is to grant them false holiness.
Ooh.
Do not try to obtain my name, for it is also covered in salt.
Hey, what references?
Anything that can be blessed, so you might crush this fate of mine and let me cross to the other side of this false dream.
God, there's just so many things. There's so many things here.
Behold the linen cloth that soaks the sweat of fevers, of thoughts, of dreamt sins. A tool that obtains secret and forbidden confessions, even from those who already departed to the other side of the dream. In the name of the High Wills, I bless this relic. Watch over it, for it is now pure and sacred.
I like the foot washing. Does this post in Christ role or the woman with the perfumes? Excellent question. Not super clear. Right? It could be either way. It could fully go either way. The other reference, though, right? The other reference that was, right? The idea that this false worship, this looking back, this regret, is punished by the transformation into salt. Is coming straight out of right, that is coming straight out of the Old Testament. Right, that's Lot's wife. The disobeying, and the looking on places that you should, and the punishment therein being the transformation into salt. That's just good stuff right there. Go away. Is there an other direction I can go? Come on. Whee! Wonder if I can just damage tank that. Ow, please don't. God dang it. I'm just gonna die here in the... Yup. I was doing so good until I just kind of randomly fell over, and just didn't land on the thing. I just didn't grab the ladder even though I hit the button, so then I died. And that's fine. Whee! Ow. Ow. Gotta stop doing that. Of course you're there. Well, that's gonna make it basically impossible, but I guess we'll try anyway. Well, we got it closer back, so we're okay. Luckily, death doesn't super matter here apart from making us feel bad. Which, by the way, is very fun, right? The idea that, it increases the thorns upon us unless we find fragments of guilt, and otherwise doesn't really do a lot, is very good. I am a big fan of that. Makes us feel more better, yes. Okay, explode please, thank you. Explode please, thank you. Die please. Alright, now we're just gonna try and recover the thing, which is luckily right there. Ow. Alright, we're fine now. See, we're fine now. A black grieving veil. A dark cloth that kept its silky feel despite the passing of the years. One of the three remains of an unfinished ceremony. The wounds inflicted by a broken oath rarely ever find healing. Number 2. No one knows what they asked for in their prayer, nor why they didn't want to be wedded. The miracle, with its grievous plans, went to the aid of its sisters. If you can call that aid. Whee! There we go. Progress. Never mind. Not progress. That's a dead end. There's no door on this end. Okay, I'll need to check that. Whee! Oh. That could be good. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. Come on. We're gonna die, right? Thank you. Alright, so now the long room. Gonna make me feel bad. Ugh, that was way too close. And off we go. The humorous of McMiddens. A nurse and cat lover, McMiddens saved countless lives, human and others. Unable to bear saving those who showed no respect for life, he put an end to his own. God, it's so interesting that the places we are... like, the places we are going and the people whose relics we are collecting are, like, very much, like, not people who are traditionally saints. Right? Like, lots of people that are not traditionally, by any metric, considered saints, or even considerable as saints. Oh. Well, I guess I'm back here now. That's neat, I guess. We'll go down here first. I've been here already. Ow. I wasn't on the ground yet, that was cheating. Yeah, this is just here. This is like the beginning of the game. It's just a pointless shortcut. And by pointless, I mean, it just puts us back in Alvaro. Or it's literally just a way to get back to Alvaro. Well, alright. Shortcuts are good. Alright, Magistress, we will see you soon. Flip that one a little bit. Ow. Damn. It's actually very bad. Ah! No! Why did it not grab? Damn. Damn. That's alright. If I am in Albero, I can use the other shortcut now to get over here. Oh, hello. What are those little ones that seem to hide up in the ceilings amongst the ornament of the altars? When I call to them, they do not appear to pay me any mind. They are covered in ribbons that give the impression of fluttering in an invisible, imperceptible, constant wind. At times I hear them cry, and at times I hear them laugh. What are you, O creatures of divine grace? That's weird. Oh, the big guys don't respawn. Noted. Alright, we finally made it this time. Sheesh. And that time I took no damage, because of course I didn't. Why would I take... Why would I have any consistency in what was hard, difficult and what wasn't? Right? Right. So that's actually a nuisance. How am I gonna do that? I know the person's gonna respawn right away if they're gonna be a jerk about it. They're probably gonna be a jerk about it. Yep, they're gonna be a jerk about it. Alright. Well, let's mark this as a... There's a chest there that we know we need to come back for. Because... yeah. I'm just gonna have to come back for it. Because I either need a double jump or an alternative path. Because either way, it must be around here. The bell will not stop ringing. I hear it jingling even in my dreams. The hands are wounded from all the digging. It must be around here. Just one more wound. I hear it close by. Oh, hello. 500 of those for a third heal? Sure. I'll take having 4 heals, thank you very much. Again with the stigmata with someone wearing a hood. And look at all that good stuff. Ow, dang it. That's so many more heals now. Have we talked about, in medieval arts, like, saints receiving stigmata? We have not. Though that is what we call a very important thing. Ow. Like, that is an extremely important— ow. Stop it! Need to be like that. Yes, like, I mean, that is the way you prove it, right? St. Francis being one of the more— that was not the button I wanted to hit, but that's okay. St. Francis being one of the more obvious examples of receiving the stigmata, but a mark of someone's virtue is whether they replicate— oh. Whether they replicate Christ's will. I did it again. Well. Oh, hello.
Blessed are the eyes that with devotion see my tormented heart. Let the ones who are joyful in affliction and fasting come to me, for they are pleasant penance. 6 stinging pains lance my flowery breast. Take the first one and purge one of your 6 mortal stains of the soul.
Maximum health has increased. Well, that's handy to know. The scaphoid of Fierce, the leper. Rejected by his family, his village, and even the other lepers, Fierce only found solace in the echo that his voice returned to him when he took refuge in the tunnels of the desecrated cistern. Well, damage boosting through the weak guy there is actually a good call. That is not helpful. I need to go this way. I need to go this way. Ow. I need to go this way. Go this way. Cool. I'm gonna ignore you, and we're gonna move. Okay. We're basically going to go back up to town, and then when we're back up in town, we're going to heal up, and then we're going to enter the new area. Ow. You'll notice how important healing up is. Ow. Ow. Now I've got to actually be careful, dang it. Maybe we're just gonna go straight up into town. Maybe that's better. That's not the right spot. Dang it. This way. Then this way, then up. Yeah. Trying not to die embarrassingly. And away we go. Should be able to go straight this way. To get into town. From there, heal up. Are people now talking about whether or not Christ existed in chat? Is that what we're doing? Yep. I mean, it's not a statement of condemnation, Liz. It's a statement of I tuned out for a moment because I was busy trying to not die, and I come back and you're talking about Josephus. So you better start with did Paul. Did it start with did Saint Peter exist? Well, that's one of the debates people could be having, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. As far as it goes, I think it's pretty hard to defend a claim that it truly didn't exist. Right, it's not like the Council of Nicaea is fully making stuff up. Like, that's not really how the Council of Nicaea worked. Right, typically most accusations of, oh, so-and-so didn't exist is just like, oh yes, the Council of Nicaea made it up, and that's not... That's not how that works. So yes, as far as it goes, did they exist? Almost certainly. Did they do everything attributed to them? Almost certainly not. Where exactly does that line break? Is a question for theologians, not me. Press X to stab the wall. When you stab the wall, you can then either jump up or jump down. Also, they're being burned at the stake, and we're not super here for that. Oh, you just dodged. Oh, heck. Oh, that's not a mask, that's just your face. Oh, that's not a mask, it's just your face is a terrifying sentence to hear. True. But, was it an incorrect sentence? I think no. I think it was a perfectly correct sentence. Because these Minotaurs do, in fact, have metal bull faces. Ow. Come on. Don't gotta be that way. Don't gotta be that way. Yep. So we're loving all these tortured people, right? Right? Oh, heck. Who are you? Why are you? Ow. We're just fighting now. That's fine. That's fine. Yep. This is all fine. Ow. That was the wrong heal button. Ah, I wasted my last heal. Because I just hit the wrong button. Okay, thank you, bye. Perpetua's protection. I have no available offerings. Oh. Perpetua's protection. Ribbon of crimson cloth, carefully rolled and still scented with ancient oils. Members of the Anointed Legion wrap their bodies in these soft ribbons, anointed with protective oils, which contrast with their otherwise heavy armor. The determination of its former wearer offers protection against lightning attacks. Esdras, you say? Spoke the soldier. That madman could not hear the death of his bear the death of his sister. He's still talking to her as if she were there beside him. Sometimes it even seems as if they were arguing. He's long gone and hasn't been seen since. I mean, yes, I stumbled into a boss fight.
O penitent one, which traverse strange roads under the same firmament, with nigh of a trade, nigh of a name. My name is Redentor, barefoot pilgrim of the Order of the Genuflectors. With taketh nigh affront in my not looking at thy visage, for we at each moment lean forth, so as not to divert our eyes from the path. Such is our old precept. We are before Hondo, a great buried bell, erected upside down so that its ringing would make the earth tremble and reach distant lands. Now Hondo resoundeth in a deep triune moan that travelleth in echoes through its broads. My feet wish to cross to the other side of this ancient valley to move to this destination. Oh, my sins! Who could help me?
Yes, yes, yes. I hear you not so subtly asking me to help you. Hondo. Ow. Yeah, I deserved that. Well, I'll leave you here with the ringing of the spooky bell for a bit, because it is time for another ad break. That's right, we take ad breaks every hour-ish. We've been going for 2.5 hours, which means it is time for that. So we'll be back in just 3 minutes. I will leave you with spooky bells, and questing snails. And then, don't go anywhere, because we'll be back to see more of this. So this was revealed in a speed paint, but the flying boss is the sister of the person following me around, so Deo Gracias, or Deo Gracias. That's very neat to know. Shame that's never confirmed, you know, in-game, but what can you do? So yeah, we'll be back in just a couple minutes for the last part of today's stream, so don't go anywhere, and yeah, see you all soon. Alright, welcome back everyone. I see we're still on the historicity of Jesus. Our main source for it, outside of obviously the Bible and Christian writings, is from a Jewish author called Josephus. And about this time, in a chronicle about the early 1st century, there lived Jesus, a wise man, if indeed one ought to call him a man. For as though he performed surprising deeds and was a teacher of such people as accept the truth gladly, he won over many Jews and many of the Greeks. He was the Christ, and when upon the accusation of the principal men among us, Pilate had condemned him to a cross, those who had first come to love him did not cease. He appeared to them, spending a third day restored to life, for the prophets of God have foretold these things and 1,000 other marvels about him, and the tribe of the Christians, so called after him, has to this day not disappeared. Obviously, suspicious that purportedly Jewish author is calling Christ, or Jesus, the Christ, because that's, you know, kind of one of the fundamental differences of belief between Christianity and Judaism. So, you know, there's some debate. Obviously, most of our copies of Josephus are from much later than Josephus supposedly lived. But yeah, there's a second line, Josephus, which mentions the brother of Jesus, who's called Christ, whose name was James. St. James, obviously, is extremely popular in the Middle Ages, and actually super relevant. It ties right back into this game. Let's go. For St. James, the brother of Christ, happens to be the name in Spanish, becomes Iago. So Santiago de Compostela, one of the main pilgrimage routes. In Spain. This is what we call being relevant. Alright, so welcome back everyone. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Lido History. I'm Adam. We're playing Blasphemous, which is about as subtle as about being Christian as a brick to the face would be. So, obviously we're getting a lot of theology discussion in the chat. If you want to tune in, of course, make sure you tune in live, because we do a whole variety of historical stuff. And make sure you get followed to be notified for when all those streams are going to be. Also, if you want to support the channel further, do consider heading over to patreon.com/LidoHistory, or clicking this subscribe button here on Twitch, because it matters a whole lot, and for as little as $2 a month, you can help make sure that I'm able to keep doing this stuff, keep able to bring historical goodness to you. So without further ado, let's hop into it. I left you all with a spooky bell. The bell is spooky. The bell hurts. Turns out staying too close to bells is bad for your health. Who could have predicted this? That was dumb of me. There's a whole bunch of stuff I was going to be able to do if I had just... The scapula of Carlos the Executioner. If I hadn't killed that bird, I could have done something very, very shiny. Sadly, I killed the bird. So, oops. Oh, that was the person who was ringing the bells. Well, alright. That should start everything moving, which is great. Ow. Please, don't get stuck like that. Jerk. I'm really hoping that I'm going to, Ow. Alright, Zoe. Good to see you. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow, just with Sable, not Blasphemous, but just so you know, we'll be back tomorrow. Well, that didn't work. I'm super gonna die to this guy. Feels so bad. And again with forgetting about these chests. Deserved. I stood too close. And now we are back to this area. Yay! want to see how high I can bounce. Ow. Alright, there's our heal. Seriously? Seriously. God dang it. This jerk. Yay, there's already 2 things. Of no available offerings. Tragic. Okay, that doesn't take me up very far at all. So that's fine, that's just a thing to pick up later. Cool. Ah, I could have done a cool thing. Oh well. I shall survive. Everyone is based on flagellant groups. Agalias. Welcome, but yes, It turns out the answer is, are they based on a flagellant group? Yes. Are we based on a flagellant group? Yes. Are our enemies based on flagellant groups? Also yes. Is the giant spooky bell based on a flagellant group? I don't know, probably. I don't know why it wouldn't be. I fell off. No. I just fell off the thing. I was doing so good. Wow. It being behind a chain actually made it more brutal, not less. I'm impressed. Well, down to spooky. Well, that's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Ow. Yep. See? It's fine. The vertebra of John, the gambler. I shouldn't have survived that. At all. What if it goes the other way? Oh, it doesn't go the other way. The environmental hazards here hurt so much. Come on down. Ding ding ding. That's not what I was trying to do! Stop it! There's no need for that. Every damn time. There went all of my heals for no reason. Oh, an empty bile vessel. Just all I needed, another heal. There we go. Oh hey, speaking of another heal, there we go. I now have 5 heals and they're all fully restored, and that was very kind of you, game. Thank you for listening to my complaints. That was nearly cool. Now it will only ring when I... oh. Now it will only ring when I want it to. Is that character throwing a cross is throwing saw blades in the shape of a cross. Thank you. Hopefully that's close enough to the center. It is not. Okay, surely that is, right? Surely that is. It is not. Really? So that position, they're both moving. So if I just do this... That's neither of them are moving. Oh good, now that is exactly in the middle, so hopefully that is exactly enough. Seriously? So. There we go. All of that just for a chest. A knot of rosary rope. Rope not made from the threads of the habits of monks deceased in ancient times. And Gracia was her name. Her rosaries were the prettiest of all Custodia. The most prestigious priests and bishops frequented her workshop, and even our very holiness Escrivar commissioned her. Such was her mastery that the rosary craft by old Gracia was unparalleled in beauty, delicacy, and perfection. Word spread that a rosary that was not made by her would not receive divine blessing, and prayers would not be heard, and besides, that would be a sin. This caused all the others to become banned by the Holy Mother Church, and those so-called false rosaries were sought and burned. Someone who kept a deceitful rosary would be severely punished, sometimes even accused of heresy. Then we all began to wonder what would become of the rosaries when Iconography was no longer with us. Welp. No problems to be had there, I'm sure. No problems whatsoever. Take it. I did the thing again. There's a whole bunch of these guys that just kind of rely on shinies. Either shinies or... Cool. Yep. That require bouncing in order to make it work. That puts me just there again. Understood. Shortcuts! Hooray! But since I have the bad habit of just trying to kill everything, it makes it very hard for me to access those. Maybe I'll go up first. Not because I can't beat that room, but because it sounds annoying. Oh. Well, that just puts me there. Well, this is suspiciously like the path I'm supposed to go. Heck. I'm so dumb. On the bright side, I don't really lose anything, because, this is literally the room I just left. No. Cool. Yep. Cool, I just didn't register the jump like I was supposed to. It's supposed to be a right trigger. And then it didn't work. That's okay. Come on. Come back over here. Without making me fall to my doom.
Oh, thou art the answer to my prayers. Lord, thank
Fourth toe, made of limestone. Do I want to know? Fourth toe made of limestone, toe from the statue of the first barefoot pilgrim. The fourth toe bore the memory of his partner, so as not to forget better times. Reduces dodging cooldown. Finally, he said, a genuine, genuflecting pilgrim will always walk alone. It is the solitary path that will grant him constant meditation and understanding of what it means to be a pilgrim in the land of the miracle, for that is our rule. Then he got up and looked at us all for a long time while we remained silent. Then he left, and we never saw him again. Hooray! Gonna mark up in order condemned to wander. Exactly. I mean, the classic pilgrimage group. But framing it as an aesthetic, or yeah, an aesthetic thing, rather than a, I don't know, as a weird, specifically, right, as like that weird aesthetic thing, rather than just being like something that exists, is neat and good. As it turns out. Weird things good. I know, what a hot take from me, right? Weird things good? Hey, I clip. Got it. Oh heck, I can't make it there. I'm gonna have to try and kill him first. Oh, I can just jump over him. What makes that easy? Cool. Cool. I'm going to assume that I want to wait for extra movement abilities before I get too excited about that. Because, yeah. Otherwise, that becomes a real nuisance real fast. Right, there probably is some way to, like, pogo off of the thing, but I am not doing a good job on, like, landing those pogos. Even though I've got the controls right, I'm just not really hitting the right thing. Oh wow, there's actually a whole bunch of areas down here I didn't explore. Okay, well, that's fine. Ow. Come on. Get over here. What the heck? That's not how that's supposed to work. Come on. Let me bounce. Let me bounce. Well, that was... Yup. Totally what I meant. Ow. Yup. Uh-huh. 100% chance what I meant. Yup. I'm still alive. We're still good. That, yep. That's how that works. I definitely clipped up. Kind of fundamentally had the wrong idea there, but it doesn't matter because I'm fine. Dried clove, a rare and fragrant spice coming from distant lands. Trading caravans stopped traversing these thinning roads long ago, making this item a rare discovery. In the past, it was highly prized for its strength in poultices and balms. It's not just hearsay anymore. The illness had reached Alvaro without warning. The outbreak and punishment of the miracle, so often discussed, came through a young man who arrived to our small congregation full of fear, wondering what his unforgivable sin had been to receive such a condemnation. And then we hit the Brotherhood of the Silent Sorrow, which gives me another one of these. The virtue of mea culpa hath ascended. It unlocks our level 2 abilities, which is a ranged attack. Both of them cost 2,000. That costs 2,300. We're gonna unlock that. And for fervor, I can yeet the weapon. It also just across the board does a little bit more damage now. Which is good. Turns out a little bit more damage is important. And another war point. Which is also good. Oops. The plague in this universe appears to just be the miracle, which is everyone's prayers coming true. Turns out most people did not actually want that. So, people aren't doing so hot. There you are, back to Alvaro.
Merciful be, penitent one. With your contribution, the work of this brotherhood carries on.
Yay. Tears of Atonement. Which are... what exactly? Known for his gambling skills, many believe that John von Gammermance's fate was guided by the High Wills. The day his luck ran out, so did his life. Alright, let's go back to the spooky thing. Spooky place, do you have anything for me? Oh! The Tears of Atonement go to the other guy in the thing. I think the Tears of Atonement go to... who's his face in... There's a guy that lives down here? No, that's Hondo. Who lives right here. That, I think needs Tears of Atonement. Let's check on that. Yeah, that the Tears of Atonement were just 500, 500 Forbidden Tears? Because I'm now 500 of those richer. We'll find out. I still might have something for you. It's been a bit. I'm still missing the Quicksilver. Yeah, okay.
Bring me the quicksilver.
And yeah, Tears of Atonement are just currency. It was just 500 gold. Which ain't bad, but ain't great either. And I brought you clothes from the end of the world. Least you could do is give me a decent... actually decent reward. But hey, I made it to here, to this Brotherhood. And therefore let's go back... Let's actually go back down. Like, because as good as these all are, there's actually stuff down at the bottom here that's important, I believe. Let's go this way. Whee! And a Hail Hydrate Redemption, thank you. Okay. Basically just need to work our way down. I did actually get that one, so we can get rid of it. And then down we go. Farther. And farther. Hello! Dropping in for a few minutes because Spanish Catholicism. That's a good reason. We're currently trying to delve beneath the great bell named Hondo in order to do stuff, but you know, as you can see, we're just a penitent. We are a penitent fool. And another Hail Hydrate, thank you. It's cinnamon chicory tea today, so very, very good, very hydrating. Ah, I understand the problem. The hat thingy, exactly. I never remember his name either, and I looked it up right before then. But yes, the dev team is from, is Spanish, and, is just using their local aesthetics. Ow. Their local aesthetics appear to be about 87% blood. Just saying. Yes, caparota. That's the word. Come on, get over here. Thank you. Ow. Yep. Yep. Ow. Oh, interesting. I died because, I died because the guy bonked into the wall from the other side, and it killed me. That's fun and interesting. We will say, Bavarian Baroque churches go much more into the gory aesthetic than, Spanish ones, which tend to be more beautiful. Hey, I think there's a certain, emphasis of juxtaposition here, where the fact that it's this gory, is supposed to stand in contrast to how beautiful it is and or used to be. You went to Spanish Catholic churches for the first time I went. This is so not nice. Where are all the flayed people? An interesting and valid question for you know, Baroque. Ah, damn it. Ow. So hey, turns out that was rude. And I'm gonna ask you to not do that again, okay? Go up, and we go over, and we go... Closer. We've broken one of the chains. We need to break one more chain, and then things will go very interestingly for somebody. This is not... So this one's interesting because, right, this world is Christian, but... So it's not actually technically Christian. Ow. It's not technically Christian. It's Christian in all but name. But its name is officially speaking not, so this guy isn't supposed to be... isn't necessarily supposed to be anything. Besides a jerk. He is very much that. He's very much a jerk. Christian with added pulp. Yeah. I'll accept that sentence. Notably not Christianity without the guts, because this is the correct number of guts. Like, it's just not Christianity if there aren't a suspicious number of guts. And everyone who does Christianity gets this wrong. Right? Every other game that does Christianity gets this wrong. It says, oh, bones, super pagan, super weird, not how this works. Flayed people, no, that's a sign of Christianity gone awry. That's like the Inquisition doing bad things, right? No. 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 There's a saint who was saw in half, oh, good to know. Judas Thaddeus. Whenever bell rings in Custodia, its sound owes its existence to Lindquist. This forger never saw his bizarre magnum opus called Hondo completed. It's interesting to see a church bell. The church bell in this case is literally upside down, so it is something that'll ring out to the world in penitence. And being a jerk, apparently. Ow, god dang it. Gonna get got again. We're fine. This is fine. Ignore the fact that that was a lot of oomph. A bouquet of rosemary. A bunch of aromatic herbs, common not long together along the forest of the Holy Trail. Today, however, their scarcity makes it increasingly valuable, especially for those who discern their healing abilities. Confessions of Tirso, Part 5. Congregation members witnesses to the phenomenon watched in astonishment and fear, except for one of our sisters who knelt beside me, and without fear of contagion, kissed one of the terrible sores that the affection had caused on the young man, and the wound began to close. The brothers fell to their knees amidst tears and prayers. Mizu, how is Turbo Catholicism Land treating me? I'm getting injured a lot, but otherwise it's treating me very pleasantly. Like, there are far worse ways for it to be treating me. Let me in! Let me in! So if I can't go that way, and I can't go that way, I must need to go up in order to break the other bell chain. But yeah, did I start about this again at the last few days of the conference where you were at? How some indigenous Mexican communities still safeguard the church bells that were bestowed in the 16th century. Oh, that's rad. Oh, that's excellent. I like that a lot. Ow. I got kinda squished. And that's death. That's death. Interesting. Symbol of also like the legal rights of the community? That's interesting. I like a lot of things about that. I think that makes a lot of sense. But in this case, right, I feel like it's less that this is turned into a world of horror, or that the church bell itself is turned into a thing of horror, because as much as it is, that there's just a lot of complicated feelings in here about, you know, what happens if prayers and people's external belief, or people's internal beliefs, become manifested outwardly, and all the weird and horrific ways that that happens. And in a world where that has already happened, right, just the ways in which people preserve meaning. I love getting wombo comboed. Ow. That was rude. Right? Does that make any sense as like a distinction? Instead of being in inversion, it's more that the entire world has already gone so... Yeah, it's already, I guess, yeah, in its darkest possible iteration is a great way of saying that. And so has caused a lot of questions. Concerns. I'm just gonna jump over you. I don't feel like fighting you this time. Okay, bye. Ow. Come on, turn around. And I'm gonna jump over, and then up, and then up. Ow, I got clobbered. I'm stuck in the corner. Help. Help. Seriously? That is rude. That is bad. That is bad and rude. And they should feel bad for being rude to me. Let's go again. All right. I think this game really depicts how very strongly, perhaps unhealthily faithful, thou Catholic would see the world. As a constant bloody battle against sin and the bodily challenges. Yeah. Yeah, this is absolutely speaking to that space. Which is, you know, an extremely complicated space to exist in. Ow. Dang it, that was nearly real bad. I nearly perfectly threaded the pixel in order to end up in jail. In Spike Jail. Ow. That's fine, I'll just damage take all of this. Now we'll head back over here once again to free up, attempt to free up the other side of it. We'll make it through there eventually, it's just that one room is full of jerks. Ow. Cool. Try that again. There we go. See, this is fine. Everything's fine. Oh, I saw a little guy up there. Little guy up there means that I should do that. And free one of the little guys. And also we should do this. Break away that other chain. And hurrah. That has done stuff. That's accomplished a glorious amount of stuff. Perfect, and that opens up that, which is good. But I want to head back this way while I can, and then do stuff. Ha! So... Sacerdos, don't get too far ahead of yourself on that one. I understand what you're trying to say, and I agree. But there is a caveat there. Heck, and death. But, right, it's a caveat that I think you'll still appreciate for... And at least one ending of the game, you end up fighting against, the Pope, basically. But, there's a certain honesty to that that I think speaks to the very real ways in which, you know, flagellants and other extreme penitential sects were, pretty uneasy in how they exist within a broader Catholic space. Well, that was nearly real ugly. Jeez. Dying there would have been very embarrassing. Would not have enjoyed that. Damn. Remember what I just said? I'm starting to play very sloppily. Exactly. A generally complex relationship with reform from below. Very true. And, I mean, I'm thinking specifically in the periods that we're talking about, or that, you know, the periods that have the most obvious influence on the game. There ends up being pretty clearly a lot of reform period groups, many of which I think are viewed with generally suspicion. welcome, but suspicion. Because that's only moderately contradictory. Oh yeah, by the way, did I mention that this can do weird stuff now? Okay, I don't want to stand right here, though. Honestly. Indeed, it is the groan that comes from the deepest core of this place, slithering in spirals, growing with its own echo, distorting amidst the bronze embossings. I didn't read all of that. The cry of 3 intertwined throats, born of a single penance, a single mourning. Light hardly ever reaches here. Only the cold and the groan. Perfect, so that puts me here, which is great. And then I can go here and open that. Yeah, it does. Beautiful. If I go over here, let me open that. Yes, it does. Oh, interesting. Oh, very interesting. If I want the actually good shortcut, I have to beat the challenge to do that. Every time. Okay. What? Being Catholic doesn't mean being a Vatican sleeper agent? What? Come on. How else are we supposed to have really, frankly, bizarre concern about John F. Kennedy being secretly a papal spy? Without that. This is useless now. I have to go all the way up, and go all the way over, and then go all the way back down. Ow. Or just die. I guess that's cool too. Or perhaps, given the way I'm playing, it's time we call it a night. What do you think, chat? I think it's maybe time we call it a night here at the Grievous Ascents. I will try and pick up all those and figure out what's over here later. Because clearly I'm not playing well enough to deserve to do it right now. You know. Anyway, if it's not obvious, I adore this game. This game's so much fun. Like, there's so much to love about it. So we'll be playing a lot more of it over the next few weeks. Including the DLC. So we're going to try for a full ending, but we'll see how that goes. Business. Tomorrow is going to be Sable. We're going to be returning to that after like a month away, just because other projects came first. So if you want, you know, cozy Tears of the Kingdom-ish, and the same sort of very cozy, very melancholy, very open world stuff, we'll be returning to that playthrough and cruising around on our cool bike and climbing big giant animals. So that'll be fun. Let's see. Then this weekend, on Sunday, we're going to be starting up Assassin's Creed Black Flag. We're going to skip out of chronological order for the Assassin's Creed franchise in order to do that, because supposedly, theoretically, for real this time, Skull and Bones is coming out, or has a beta in August. We want to be prepped for that, so we're going to do some History of Piracy over the next, like, 2 months-ish. So, if those all sound cool to you, make sure you're followed to be notified when I go live for those. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, consider supporting the channel by following and subscribing. That's, I think, all I've got, so let me do the important thing of getting the credits ready. And then we will call it a night. But yeah, Black Flag, I know, right? Big pirate vibes. So we're going to be doing a lot of live research there, all at the same time, because we can and should. But yeah, that's going to be Sunday's job. So I'll put all those, update the stream schedule here on Twitch, but make sure you're in the Discord as well, obviously, to be notified for all of those. Get to hang out all the rest of the time. Alright, so that does it for me, everyone. So until next time I see you, whether that's tomorrow or in the future, I hope you all have a good rest of your evenings. Good night-night.